Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Friday. It was a pretty slow day for Friday. We've been on like a downward trajectory right there. But also yesterday, I actually thought it was Wednesday. So in the video, I talked about it being Wednesday, but it's actually Thursday yesterday. I don't know, just eBay kind of gets grindy sometimes, right? We do it every day. We do the videos, so then I literally just lost track of the day it was, which is rare for me. All right, enough rambling. First thing is this Tom and Jerry DVD, this little spotlight collection. I like to grab all the little DVDs that have like cartoons or something where someone can like binge a series, because I know they're not always on streaming services. So when someone's like kid, or when someone wants to be nostalgic and watch some of this stuff, it's like they can go, they spent $11.99 plus shipping for this. Everything's going to be plus shipping. But yeah, they can just pick this up and then watch it forever whenever they want. So I think it's like cool and good to pick up those kind of things. I liked Tom and Jerry a lot when I was a kid. All right, next up is going to be a combo order. These are going to be for a War Machine game. So these are the Protectorate of Menoth. That is like the holy, religious, righteous fairy faction. You're normally supposed to paint them like white and gold. So these are just different packets of tokens, acrylic tokens, which denote like different spells on the battlefield. They're little focus tokens, which is basically like their action points for the game. So these are the official ones. And then these were made by another company, but the person just wanted a bunch of different tokens. I've been doing really well with these. These end up selling for $21.73. These aren't even like a full set, because like the full sets will have specific little tokens and spells for every character that exists, I believe. So like it's always interesting to me that I sell a bunch of these. So I guess I'm like the only one that's like focusing on them. $21.73 for that stuff is pretty good, because I get that. It's almost an addition to the War Machine and Hordes lots I buy. Like when someone has a collection, they're playing the game, they have a bunch of the tokens, and I separate them by faction and I sell them pretty well. All right, next up is kind of an interesting one right here. It's kind of in a tube. I don't want to take it out. This is Attack on Savannah by American and French Forces, 1779, like a reproduction map that you roll out. Really nice condition. I kind of have it in this, I don't even know why I had it in this plastic tube. I didn't even picture it, the plastic tube, so it must have got like cracked in some way back from the storage unit. I'm going to take it out. It's interesting though, like people do like these maps. This one sold for $19.69, but we also sold something yesterday, like a poster. We were about to ship it out. They messaged us after we printed the shipping label, and they asked about combined shipping. So Netta's going to cancel that shipping label. We're going to add this one into that. We're going to have to like, take off the tape, and then we're gonna send out a combined order. It's a little bit of a pain to do it last second, but they had a day to do that, or else eBay was going to start screaming at us for not shipping out an item on time, and we don't want to get like dinged on that. But it's cool. So we got another almost $20 sale from the person. I think they spent like 13 or 14 for the other map. The other map was the Lost Lands RPG map. All right, next up is going to be this little car. It's like a vintage metal one. This one was actually like pretty cool and intriguing for me. I get a lot of die-cast cars. I'm not like a car person. This one's almost like, I can tell it's like more vintage. It has these two little gold passengers in there. It's blue. It's like a different kind of metal. This is probably maybe from like I don't know, I'm gonna take a guess, like 60s or 70s. But yeah, it almost feels like a steel like type of car, like a different, better kind of metal. This ended up selling for $11.50. So I do get bulk lots of the die-cast cars, and sometimes I get like cool, rare ones like that. All right, next up is going to be this little card game. I like to sell like the card games. Families and people do like to collect them and play them. This is 789. Off of that pun, why is 8 afraid of 7? Because 789. This one is cool because it's in Chinese, so that I like to sell the foreign stuff because people usually pass up on it. And then this is by a company Out of the Box. Yeah, Out of the Box. Yeah, they are known for doing apples to apples. So they had like a good market on the card game, the family card game, until Cards Against Humanity came out. But like this is that company. So it's interesting that they made other stuff than apples to apples. I would always pick up that stuff just because I know a lot of people who played apples to apples. This game sold for $13.50. All right, moving along, it's going to be some dinosaur figures that Anetta grabbed a bit ago. These are 14 of them. Really cool, decent quality. There's even like a glow-in-the-dark Triceratops. There's like a Stegosaurus. There's various brands in here, various like quality of the actual toys. These ones are all pretty good. This sold for $16.49. I told you guys before that that's something like Anetta taught me, just like the bugs, dinosaurs, animals, anything like the better quality, good kids toys or good like display pieces for even adults do pretty well. Any sizes from like 2 inches all the way up to like big ones. All right, I think Aneta, we have some like dragons and dinosaurs here. That's like Aneta's little collection, and we've added some stuff as we've been doing eBay over the years. All right, next up is going to be a combo order. This is going to be 3 HeroClix things. So they paid at 2 different times. So they asked if we could refund the excess shipping, which we will. So we got this token, a Dyson token set. Well, I'll get to it in just a moment. And then they got a map. So there's 2 people that bought HeroClix today, but this is the first one. So this map right here is an official one. It's kind of just a bus that's fallen over in the middle of a street. Classic like superhero villain situation. This one's weird because this is not your classic size for a HeroClix map. I forget the full, like this is 10 squares by 10 squares, and I think the full ones are like 26 by 32 or 26, 24 by 26, something around that range. But there were some small starter sets where you get small maps. When I played HeroClix, it would be fun once in a while just to play in a small map because there's not too much going on. It's kind of just like a quick brawl. So they spent $674 on this, and then the other 2 things I'm talking about, they spent $16. So they got a dice token pack. This is an official one. This is Uncanny X-Men. So they had these little people were playing with poker chips for HeroClix because your character gets 2 actions. When you take an action, you put a poker chip underneath it. If you take a second action later on, you put another one. They eventually realized people were just using poker chips and they can actually make character designs for those. So then people could pay WizKids for getting a classic little poker chips with the characters, and then people love them. And then they included these dice with the HeroClix players like to have a symbol for the 6 instead of the 6. Not sure why. If you know anyone who's into HeroClix, ask them. They'll say the same thing. They love that stuff. These dice are kind of like a little bit too squared. They like round dice. It's really crazy how I just know. I mean, I played HeroClix for a couple of years, so I know all like the weird nuances. But yeah, the official ones are square, and then they have this Uncanny X-Men symbol at the 6. I know it's talking about a lot, but I just want to talk a little bit more about some stuff. And then this Robo Penguin right here, this is going to be like a little promo figure. This does look like the poker chip, but this is actually going to be like usually a token or a figure. It's 1 health little figure. Normally the HeroClix have dials where you twist them as they take life. This literally just has its stats right here. If you do a damage to it, it gets knocked out, it gets KO'd. These things are usually go with like other characters, or they're just gonna be like a little thing you can spend extra points on. I don't know the nuance of this particular penguin, but he's pretty cool. Like it's pretty cool, like shiny design. I don't know if you can see it. I think that's pretty good quality one. But I had another one of the penguins, so I relisted it. So yeah, it was like what, $22 and some change. All right, move along to something else. Another War Machine thing. Privateer Press would do these pins. They would do a lot of promotional stuff, and they would go to conventions like Gen Con, among other ones. This is going to be a specific character. I forget which one. It looks like the blue is the Signar faction right there. So it looks just like one of their Warjacks, or I think a heavy Warjacks right there. So yeah, this is just a cool little pin, like extra money you can spend on. They call it, actually it says Chibi Ironclad. There you go. So it's even like a chibi. It's trying to be like a little bit cuter and chunkier. So this sold for $18.22. That's really good for that. I always pick up like the little stuff, even though you can't use them for the game. I know people like to collect that kind of stuff. I thought that would be a slower seller, but someone still wants it. Like they made good quality pins. There was someone like my brother that taught me that there's a whole like pin world out there where people collect like pins. It's actually a thing. I haven't gotten many of them to sell on eBay, but it is a thing. All right, moving along, we have this Easy Breeze travel agency little card game. There's little places like New York, Miami. There's a couple of dice and a bunch of cards. I haven't played this one, but I know people like these, like I said earlier, family games, card games. They're cheaper. Someone spent $6 on this. Yeah, they had to pay shipping, but like people will, they're kind of like warm-ups for board game nights for some people, where if you're going to play a heavy 2 to 3 hour game, your friends come over, you guys eat or something, and you kind of want to play like something literally easy breezy. You want to play something quick just to get everyone's like mind into like, okay, cool, we're doing some strategy, we're playing some games, and it does work out for a lot of board game groups. So that's another reason why people get the card game stuff just as a warm up. All right, we're almost done here. Next up is going to be more War Machine. I guess I didn't realize I was pulling a lot of War Machine stuff and HeroClix today. These are K-Door. It's a little 2 regular infantry with some kind of like artillery cannon. They're called Winter Guard Field Gunner. Right there. These are metal. They also have some like resin figures for War Machine. K-Door is kind of like the red Russian-ish faction right here. So yeah, these are just like 2 guys with a little gunner. This ended up selling for $18.74, kind of like a cannon type of thing, little artillery for them. There are all sorts of figures in the War Machine Hordes realm, and it depends on what faction you get. All right, last thing for the day, which is a different person. This is going to be the Joker from the Dark Knight Rises set. He's going to be a rare right here. His little set symbol is silver, which shows that it's a rare. I actually remember this particular figure. Here's the Joker card right here with all of its abilities. You can also memorize them if you want. I just remember this one being good at the time because there weren't many good Joker figures. Like, they just weren't that powerful. And this one was actually like a pretty good one. He has a lot of like cool abilities. I remember his stats also are high. So I would say it took a little bit for like the DC characters for them to start producing good ones, because like HeroClix started out in the beginning. If you look at the original figures, their stats are way lower than like as the game's gone by. I'm sure the power creep has gone even higher since I played the game in many, many years. All right, this ended up selling for $12 for individual figures. So I looked up all like the rares and super rares when I got them, because I know how to like look them up and figure out which ones are the rares and stuff. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope everyone has a good weekend.